Hey everyone, it is pattern test time again. We got picked to test this really cute pattern. I'm excited about it, but we have to do the hard part. We have to pick the colors. Oh my goodness. So the pattern has fur, and I don't really have fur, but I have little bunny. And I would kind of like to use the yellow. So I need colors that are going to go with yellow. So we want to use Parfait Chunky. I have all of that up there. And then down here. And so I need two colors that's going to go with the yellow, and this is the hardest part for me, is choosing colors. And then some of these don't feel so hot. They're the yucky textured like that. I can just see it, that it's not the right feel. All right, so this is gonna take me a minute. Let me go and pick some colors. Okay, so y'all are a little crooked at the moment, but I couldn't get it adjusted. All right, so I picked through my stuff, and I don't know. I want to use the yellow little bunny for the fur. And this yellow is a little bit brighter, but I only need a tiny little piece. What I did is I looked in my scrap bin to see what I had to try and use up those parts. So this was in there, not because it's a scrap, but because it was opened. Shouldn't have been in there, but it was. So we have the yellow fur, this little bit of yellow. We're only gonna need a tiny bit of it. Then I have 3 pieces of this light purple, and to go with it I also picked a dark purple, and I only need a tiny little bit of this, but I'm gonna have to open this skein because I do not have one that is in the scrap bin. Who knows why? So purples and yellows kind of go okay together, I think. We're about to find out. All right, so let me go grab my pattern and we're gonna get started. Well, that was fun. I was trying to print specific pages and hit the wrong button and it printed everything, which I didn't need everything, just certain parts of it. So anyways, this, maybe the thumbnail gave it away, but I'm not going to like tell you right away what it is. We're just going to try and figure it out. Maybe. So we're going to get started, and let's see. It says that we need 1.5 skeins of the main color, 1 skein if you're using Bernat. So if you're using like Himalaya Dolphin Baby or Premier Parfait Chunky, Hobie's Honey Bunny, you're gonna need 1.5 skeins. It says a 4mm hook. I'm gonna use a 4.5. It says you need 25mm eyes. I do not have those, so I have my choice. I can go up to a 28 or down to a 20. More than likely, I will go down to a 20. Of course, your stuffing, stitch markers, scissors, blah, blah, blah. So, it says we're supposed to start with the head, which we don't necessarily have to. We could make all the smaller parts first if we wanted to, but we're going to go in order of the directions and see what happens. So I decided I'm going to use the light purple as the main body because I have so many pieces of those open. right, so we finished 6 rounds. Okay, so I think this is going to be smaller than I expected from this particular designer, because her stuff is usually like grand, just grand. Okay, so continuing on. Okay, so it's time to add the eyes, and so far this head is kind of small, so I think I'm going to go down to the 20 for sure, because the 28s would just swallow this little guy right up. So let's see if I can get them even now. When I add a little stuffing, it helps me somewhat to try and make it look even. Does that look even to you? Okay, we're gonna go with it. And let's see if I can do this. That smarted a little bit. Ow. Okay, so they're in. Hopefully they're even. Let's continue on. Okay, so I think I did pretty good with the eyes, getting them straight. So just a little bit more stuffing. My chair's rolling away on me. Just a little bit more stuffing, and then we start on, what is next? We start on the body from the tip of the tail. Do you know what it is yet? Oh, that's right. You guys saw the thumbnail. I like to stuff pretty firmly so that it holds up longer, because we all know this stuff breaks down pretty quickly. It's looking pretty good. Okay, so we set this aside and we move on to the body. Oh no, I gotta start with 4. Yay. Now let me see if I can turn it right side out. All right, that was rough. Sometimes I can do it no problem, and other times these little skinny tips just don't want to work for me. They don't want to cooperate. All right, so now let's see. We're already on round 4. So I'm starting to get something to hang on to here. So very interesting how this is working up. It's getting this nice little curve to it. And we have a whole bunch more rows to go. Okay, so we're supposed to stuff as we go. So I better add some before I get too far, and then I won't be able to get it down into the little skinny part. And we're going to continue on. Okay, that's through round 23, and we got a lot more to do. All right, so we finished page 2. Oh no, short rounds. I have done that before. It's been a while. And if you don't know what short rounds are, so we're working in a circle, and a short round is you're going to go, I don't know, we'll just say it's halfway. I haven't looked yet, so I don't really know. But so you go, say you have 20 stitches. You're going to do 10. Then you're going to turn your work and come back, and you build up one side and you join it, and it makes it do a sharper turn than you can get doing it other ways. But here's where we are so far. And I have gotten into my third piece. So I'm hoping that I don't have to open another one, because then that defeats the purpose of me using all the pieces. So let's see what we are supposed to do. Yeah, okay. I look like picture 5. Position your work so that the tail is pointing upwards and to the left. Up and to the left. And this will be the new starting point. Okay, we got this. Looking pretty interesting. Okay, and ooh, another short round. We got this. Okay, 9 more rounds and the body's done. Okay, so I got the body done. And now I'm supposed to sew the head onto the body. And I didn't leave a long yarn tail because I have been struggling with sewing with this chenille yarn. So I thought I had a light purple acrylic to use, and it's not even close to this color. So I have this cotton that is similar, so I'm going to try that, because when all that fluff starts to shed off of the string, it's just impossible. It gets very frustrating because then you can't pull it through, and I'm afraid I'm going to break it, and yeah. All right, so getting the last little bit of stuffing, and let's see. The short rounds gave you a belly. I mean, you can see them here. So that's your belly, and it sits like this with the tail. So the head is going to attach onto here, see if I can line this up properly. Okay, so I use these bamboo sticks. They grip a little better than the knitting needles or the so-called sewing sticks that are just knitting needles with beads on them. Okay, so I think that looks pretty straight. Now I just have to try to not poke my eye out. So let's see. Hopefully this cotton works. Let's see if I can sew this. Looks like it's blending in okay. Now I haven't made all the parts yet, but this is the next step following the pattern instructions, is to sew the head onto the body once the body is made. So that is what I'm doing. Normally I would make all the pieces first and then assemble it, but maybe doing it like this as you make them is less overwhelming for those of us who aren't super thrilled about all the sewing. Well, that really stinks. I can't find it. I even got out the broom and swept, and the floor ate the yarn needle. And that was my last one like that. Now I'm reduced to these plastic ones. And yeah, so I'm gonna have to order more. Okay, so the head is sewn on. Do you know what it is yet? And I think it did pretty good. Like, you can't really see that cotton yarn. So there's that. Now, out of my scraps, I had 3 pieces. This is all I have left. And I don't think I'm gonna get 4 legs and 2 ears out of this. So we'll end up having to open another one. On the bright side, I did get rid of 2 of 3 of the pieces. I will end up having 1 left, but it'll be mostly a full skein. So what is next? Sew the head to the body. We did that. Oh, front legs, make 2. And this is going to have bobble stitches in it for toenails. I thought that was too good to be true. It's definitely not a center pole. So I always do my bobble stitches if they're a different color like that, because it's nice and clean. Like when I do the next round, you won't be able to see chunks of the dark purple. But I forget what pattern I learned that on, but that's like no brainer anymore. Attach it with the slip knot. The slip knot is like your yarn over, and just make your bobble. And then to finish it off, you pull your other color through. The only down part to it is you have to keep stopping and cutting and tying, but it really doesn't take that much time. The end result is worth the extra few seconds. One more on this foot. See how clean it looks? I think it makes a big difference in the quality of the work. Okay, I got one leg finished. Let's stuff it. Probably should have stuffed the foot part sooner. This is going to be so cute, you guys. It's going to be so cute. I have to say that this is one of Shannon's cutest patterns. Like I really like this. I hope mine turns out half as good as the pictures of hers. Okay. It said stuff it to the top. I am stuffed. We got a little bend going on there, which we wanted. And see how nice those toenails look? Nice and clean. Okay, 3 more legs to go. Okay, I'm getting tired, you guys. It is like 10 o'clock at night now. I've got all 4 legs finished. That's a front leg. And this is a back leg. And the next step is to sew on the legs. But I am like too tired to deal with that tonight. So we are going to pick this up again tomorrow. I need to be able to concentrate and pay attention to what I'm doing to even come close to having my legs even. I'm sure a lot of you know how that goes. So we'll pick up tomorrow. So here's the head and the body. These are the legs, like the back leg comes back here. Let's see. And then the front leg is going to come something like this. Something like that. I have to read the instructions, but I think we're moving along just fine, other than me being tired. But I did get a late start today. We'll pick up where we left off in the morning. Well, good morning, everyone. It is the next day, and we left off with having to sew the legs onto the body, which was the next step according to the pattern instructions. And the most wonderful thing happened to me as I was sitting here getting ready to set up. I found my needle that I dropped. But I already placed an order to get like a bunch because I lose these like I lose my stitch markers. Anyhow, so we are doing the back legs first because that's what the instructions say. I think I have them on there pretty even. Now I got to do this without poking my eye out. Yep, we'll see here. Once I get one sewn on, I'll probably have to adjust the other to make it even. But it's supposed to have its little behind up in the air. So I'm going to sew on one leg, and then we'll see what kind of adjustments I need to do on the other to make it even. And hopefully this cotton yarn doesn't show on this. So we need to get started. Okay, so I got one on. I feel like I am all thumbs this morning. So I had to pull the other side, take the other leg off because it was very awkward. And I felt like I was going to poke myself. So now we're going to have to realign and see if we can get this to look somewhat even. And that cotton worked just fine. I found a new friend. So you cannot see the stitches. I don't pay attention to those. But it did just fine. Okay, so I think it looks good from the top. Looks good, like the head looks straight when it's sitting. Looks good from behind. So I think we're gonna run with that and hope that the sewing makes it look okay. Yes, in the middle of sewing that, I got a knot in my yarn and had to untangle it. Let's see if we can do this. So you know how you're scrolling through social media and say like Instagram, and you come across these reels and it shows this nice, smooth, soothing sewing process? Yeah, well, that's not how it works for me. There's nothing soothing and smooth about my sewing process. Snuggling right up around the head. I'll show you. Can you get out of the way? Can you see the difference where the other one kind of came out further? I must have messed up on the short rounds, but these don't take that long to make. The longest part's doing the toes, and we'll just go from there. So now, see, this is hard because you want to get up close to the head, I think. Let me get back to the attach the front legs section. The front legs will be sewn on behind the head. Okay, so I got to be able to get my hand in there. And I kind of like it right snug up to the head, but there's not going to be any getting my hand in there. So I'm going to have to bring it back just a tad, but it does go better like that. All right, I need to poke it into position. So I guess I'll sew the first one on and then line up the second one so it'll be less awkward for me with my big old giant hands. So let's see if we can do this. Stay right where you're at. Don't move. So let's just say sewing is not my forte, but I got it on. Takes me a minute, but I did it. So now we got to make the other side look even. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is looking so good. Look at this. Look at this. And it sits so nice. And his little bum is up in the air. It just looks fabulous so far. I'm excited. Let's see what's next. Okay. The ears. No stuffing on the ears. All right. So the ears are still going to be the light purple. Let me tell you, this one does not feel the same as the other one. This is the not so nice. It just has a different feel. It's not, doesn't have that soft, silky feeling to it. Okay, so we need to make 2 ears. And of course, we're starting with 4. Just to make it hard to turn it right side out. So I'm going to try and do this as I go, instead of after I get the second round done. Just keep sticking my finger in the middle. I think I got it. Okay, so I got both ears done, and we're supposed to sew them on now. We still have other parts to make. I'm kind of a fan of getting all the parts made. That way you can just keep going and you don't have to keep stopping. But we're following exactly what the pattern says to do. All right, so we're going to sew the ears on 2 to 3 rounds behind the eyes. And we got to leave enough room in between them for the horns. I'm going to sew one on and then line the other one up with it. This time, rather than using the cotton, because it's only a few stitches for the ears, I went ahead and left the long yarn tail on the ear because it is just a few stitches and it should last long enough. One ear's on. Now we have to try and line the other one up with it. Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3. Thread our needle first. That's looking pretty good. Okay, looks fairly even. All right, so now we have to make the horns. Do you know what it is yet? Okay, the horns, oh, this feels so much better. It's going to be in the dark purple. At least I think it's the horns that are next. Yep. Okay, so we have 2 options, straight or curved. And both start with 4 single crochets in a magic ring. So I'm going to go for straight because I struggle with the 4. Okay, so let's make some horns. I don't usually do the magic ring. I do the chain 2 because of this chenille yarn. Can't see my stitches. And same thing for the horns. I'm going to leave the long tail because it's just a few stitches. 1 done. Okay, so we have 2 horns and we're going to sew these on before we move on to the next step because that's what the instructions say to do. So let's get to it. This is getting so exciting, you guys. The horns are on. Oh my gosh, he's looking so good. Or she. Purple. Could be she. Look at how cute it is. Oh my goodness. All right, so what is next? Next is tail decoration. Okie dokie. Let's see. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Tail decoration. Be working these ends. Okay. Then I'm covered in fluff. Okay. Oh, next up is wings. Okay, we are on the home stretch now. We had to make 4 wings and sew them together. So you got a larger one and a smaller one. So we don't get to sew those on yet. According to the instructions, we're going to attach the fur stripe by doing a surface crochet. And I don't have fur. Like I said before, I'm going to use the Honey Bunny. So, and it's like super thin. So instead of doing it in a single crochet like it says, I'm going to do a half double crochet to hopefully give it some bulk. So we're going to do that. Then we get to attach our wings. and then we get to put the nostrils on, and then this sweet little guy will be finished. I am getting so excited. I can't wait to see how it looks when it's completed. So let's get started on the fur. I am, however, second guessing my color choices. I really hope this turns out nicely. We shall see here momentarily. Okay, so that was about awkward. Look, 2 steps left. Sewing on the wings and giving him nostrils, which is optional, but personally I think it looks a little better with the nostrils on there. So there's no specific spot for the wings to go. It just says sew the wings to the body in position where you choose. So we're going to sew on the wings and embroider the nostrils, and then I'll pop back on and show you how cute it looks. Oh my goodness, you guys. You guys, this is amazing. Just amazing. Wait till I show you. Oh my gosh. It's so, it's just so fabulous. Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Look at him, her, it. Look at it. We did everything. We didn't skip any steps. We followed it in the exact order of the pattern. However, I do think I would make all the pieces first and then just put it all together at one time. But it's so damn gorgeous. Just gorgeous. And I am not disappointed with my color choice. I was second guessing it there, but now that it's all together, I think it is wonderful. And you know what I did when you weren't looking? Yep, I did. Jenna picked some colors and we made this one. Check it out. Oh my gosh. Just gorgeous. So they have playmates. They are best buddies. They're friends. And I've got fluff everywhere. So this pattern is by Shannon at Snuggle Beans Crochet. And the release date is June 27th. It's not the fastest make. Well, I can't say that because, you know, we did this one together. I did this one separate. Once you get used to a pattern, it goes much faster. And there were things involved in this that were a little new to me. Like I've done short rounds before, but not like maybe once or twice. And she really outdid herself with this one. This, I love it. I just love it. This little guy looks like he's just ready to pounce. It's called a Playful Dragon. And like I said, the pattern will be released on the 27th. Unless she decides to go sooner. Not sure yet. I mean, today is the 19th, so that's 8 days away. it's a possibility. It's a possibility. But oh my gosh. These guys are just great. I love them. I love them. They are just sweet. And I did go with the 20 millimeter eye on both of them because I don't have the 25. And I think the 28s would have just swallowed up the faces. So that is how that goes. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching me do this pattern test. And when she has her pattern ready, you guys really need to check it out. I think some of y'all will just really enjoy this pattern. If you like dragons, this one I have to say, I've done quite a few dragon patterns, but I have to say that this right now just might be my favorite.